KingVon's lyrics were a reflection of his life, ranging from admitting that he had an affair with his baby mama to demeaning an NBA kid and singing about killing a female assassin. These strange circumstances were often real. The FBG Wiki tried to kill someone. Among his favorite operations was FBG Duck. According to Wiki, V would also fall, and the two would taunt each other with death in a single tweet. V said, "We'll be killed before him, not before you thought." Wozai would unfortunately get shot first, and V was quick to disparage him in his music in the track Back Again. Von tweeted, "Shoot up everyone outside, Von Dolies." Considering that he made a tweet and created a grandson for President Von Dolies, I'm sure Wookie is still twitching. He was shot, so he's on medication. At a funeral for Wispy's friend Y, a rapper who was shot in the head in 2018, Von talked about the shooting. After the tragedy, many individuals say Y has never been the same. An OP shot and killed Chris alias Doozy Thon after he passed away. Von boasted that he was going to surprise We tonight in a text. The Block members took advantage of the fact that Deuce's funeral would be filled with activities because of our reputation in the neighborhood. Dopey's funeral was chaotic on the afternoon of October 17.
We've learned a little bit more about the victims this afternoon. There were a total of 6 people who were shot outside the church. It was a pandemonium, a scene of pandemonium right after that happened. Many of those people who were shot were leaving a funeral inside the church.
Throughout the funeral, when a car arrived, men climbed out and began shooting at the greeting. Several gang members, including Wookie, who were mourning for their slain comrade, also drew their weapons and retaliated. Not only was Wookie shot in the head and fell to the ground, but 6 other persons were also injured. Wookie was shot in the head, but luckily that didn't kill anyone. In 2012, Wookie assured V that he would outlive him in their Twitter exchange regarding his murder, and he is still alive today. Chicago's ongoing gang war has made Graber alias Tuka a nationwide celebrity. A number of rappers have ridiculed him in their tracks, and KingVon was certainly not excluded. The bus is the last stop, and Von Dolies observed that boy walking by it. A 2011 Chicago gang war killed Tuka as one of the first kids. At 6:45 p.m. on January 12, 2011, an apparently ordinary evening in Chicago's Woodlawn neighborhood, the events that led to Tupa's horrific shooting began. Channel Gregory, then 15 years old, had no idea that he would once more be standing at a bus stop on the 500 block of East 63rd Street. When a man approached Tuka and his 2 friends as they waited for the westbound bus on 63rd Street that evening, he was not alone. Looking innocent at first, he asked if there was another bus coming. Still, it was the start of something far bigger. The man's ominous demeanor did not hint at the violence he would unleash without warning. Tupa stumbled after the man behind the bus shelter produced a silver pistol, pointed it at him, and fired a single shot in a matter of seconds. The gunman was relentless. He followed Tuka and, with terrible accuracy, shot him 3 more times in the back as he staggered toward a nearby rubbish can in a desperate bid to escape. Took immediate notice as soon as the police and emergency services showed up. Tuka lay motionless. In a few seconds, his life would be over. Rapidly assessing the situation, the paramedics discovered that it was too late. Tuka was declared dead at the spot. The Lil Mark murder case, other people besides Tuka could also die at a bus stop. This is an alias, Mark Campbell. In January 2019, V had to fire Lil Mark after he met the same fate. When Memo 600 and KingVon collaborated on their song, I discovered that they made fun of some of their businesses, such as Lil Mark on the Von Rap song. Before passing away on March 25, 2014, Lil Mark dropped a trash song titled No Competition. It was an audacious effort that targeted popular rappers Lil Durk and Lil Reese, as well as the street group OTF. I'm sick and tired of Scrap and the scent of Tua and Lil Mark. My plan is to create a new bundle. Tragic events occurred 3 days later on March 28, 2014. For Lil Mark, the fateful day started off like any other day in Chicago, but it would end tragically at around 1:27 p.m. Lil Mark was anticipating a bus stop. In a feud with NBA YoungBoy prior to his tragic death, KingVon took to the studio to admit to having slept with his girlfriend in the track. None of these Von RS are aware that they are dookies. V resorted to social media to propagate the cruel tale about the youngster. He posted images of himself with the young boy's baby mama after tweeting, "Won't believe the female I just made a hit with." Jania and V were accused of sleeping together rather than creating music when they initially met when she appeared online, declaring on Instagram that they had just created music because she needed the money for her child. Jania cleared her reputation.
Like I said, I don't really know niggas. I've been working. We have a song coming out. Y'all wasn't supposed to know, but fuck, it is what it is now. We have a song coming out. So when the song come out, y'all gonna with it.
Asian, seemingly angry, took to her Instagram to confirm the rumors.
A distressed Asian verified the allegations on Instagram, saying she had seen the direct messages between the two and that the music explanation was false, but the damage had already been done. Little Boy was aware of the rumor beforehand and took it personally. His Instagram post read, "I'm going to make sure my son and your daughter since you are trolling a bit." There have been whispers in the industry that Asians cheated on V with Little Boy. 2 days prior to Von's tragic murder, Little Boy sent a message to his producer using Asian's Instagram account, which is among the strongest pieces of evidence. Little Boy, who broke the internet on January 14, 2022, would get the last laugh. He incorporated a hook in the song's lyrics after it was released, mocking the late KingVon and his entire team. A child in the NBA makes fun of KingVon's death during the same game. We were informed that O Block Pack is held up for murder. The positive news is that this diss song did not spark a new gang war. Get wrapped up, you Atlanta boy. The long-term murder of T.Roy, though they are both dead now, we and his best friend T.Roy lived by the pistol and murdered many operations because they knew their time was coming. KingVon's song, "All These Niggas Von RS, Look How You Feel For Real," included shout-outs to T.Roy, who was shot and killed first. T.Roy was slain in 2017 on Valentine's Day while doing what he loved most. Operations were deemed inadequate on this particular day, and they were shot. As an additional point of reference, he had one specific opportunity in mind, and that was none other than TB from Toan World. Only a month prior, TB had released a diss track in which he made fun of all of his operations, including Oblak T.Roy. He ventured out, as usual, to search for TB in the 2000 block of East 71st Street, a noted TB hotspot in the South Shore neighborhood. T.Roy hoped to use the element of surprise to kill him as T.Roy and his friends were walking down the streets, and his operations TB and Can't Get Right were hot on their trail based on the footage. TB and Can't Get Right played the reverse card and were searching the streets in quest of T.Roy TR. When Roy and his associate entered the store on 7th Street, he was on one of the aisles talking to his associate. A few seconds later, CCTV footage showed TB and Can't Get Right entering the store and heading toward their rivals. TD's right hand was slightly behind him, hiding a firearm. It was unusual that Roy was caught without it. He must have thought it would be a verbal altercation that would end in fists because TB could have shot him immediately as soon as he entered, as most hits do, or he could have waited for him to go outside, but he approached him as though he wanted to do so. T.Roy fell to the ground as TB abruptly lifted his pipe and began firing rounds. Following his transfer to Northwestern Memorial Hospital, T.Roy died from his gunshot wound. Not long after, prominent rappers close to T.Roy, including Lil Durk, Lil Reese, 600 Breezy, and Chief Keef, expressed their shock and sorrow on Twitter. T.Roy's death was quickly avenged when TB was shot dead by T.Roy's brother. King, also known as HK, was later assassinated by Who and other members of Tull. FBG Wooski hides from V, and V frequently gets into arguments with Wiki on X. One day, Wiki tweeted, "KingVon, you were afraid to enter the store because you looked me in the eye," to which V replied. They were discussing a time when V ran into Wiki at a store on 63rd Street. According to rumors, Wiki saw V and fled into the store to hide from his eyes. V was unable to fight him because Wiki hid behind his guys in the store. And in one of his songs, V says he didn't shoot up the store because he didn't have his ski mask in the track On Your Ass. On Meta B, you locked the door when I tried to return, so you got up and went behind your guys. Von WPS was at the store, but I wasn't wearing my mask. This was the last time the police were given a pass, although Von and we had met in the street before, and they had thrown hands.
I interviewed somebody, man, and they was telling me about a time when you and Von got in a fight in front of O-Block.
Y and his companion witnessed Von Wee fighting V when they were out. Then a fourth person intervened to help V, but the cops were already present and intervened quickly.
Walked in King's Drive and they was standing right there, and the police and shit pulled up, and they thought they was just gonna stand right there. We got the whooping their ass. Me and him got the fighting, then some other mother came and jumped in, and the police came, broke the fight up. We all got up at it.
However, KingVon's version of events was different. He claimed that Wose had been beaten.
Hey, Wose can't tell y'all I beat his ass one day. He ain't tell y'all that. He too dumb to remember. I punched his ass.
FBG does not commit the murder. On August 4, 2020, near Michigan Avenue and East Oak Street in Chicago's Gold Coast area, FBG Duck was shot and murdered. The song GTA, a diss single about FBG Duck, was released by KingVon a month later. Von, who rapped the song, is now a ghost. We should toast since it happened so fast. The horrifying CCTV footage showed a dark car halt in the scene of FBG Duck's murder. As Duck tries in vain to escape, armed men jump out in front of a store and start shooting. Duck was left dead when they jumped back into the black automobile and sped off in a gray Chrysler that was also implicated in the crime. More footage showed a police car pursuing the gray Chrysler as it pulled up to O Block. The detectives worked non-stop to piece together the CCTV footage as the weeks turned into months. Social media usage and eyewitness accounts, researchers made a significant discovery when they discovered a digital breadcrumb trail linking the incident to the O Block gang's gloating social media posts about the assault. FBG Duck was slain for defaming T.Roy, according to the trial and video evidence that placed suspects at the scene.
Stuff like that. Okay. All I know, don't say that about Troy or rest in peace, Duck. You know, don't say about Troy.
Duck raps T in the song The Remix of Me. There are several dead individuals there, but Roy isn't shot in the head. I'm not sure with whom to smoke. Duck would receive a direct message from V saying, "I'm really helping you out. Since Mother is now mentioning you, you're not banging on anything, so you may feel me. You welcome Goofy Duck." Later, the rep would call him a fan, and you really needed to mention me for you to do numbers like all your other silly boys. Just claim to be a fan then. With the line, "I wasn't going to diss the dead," BD Duck went on to disparage O Block in the song Duck Raps, made Chicago legends in July 2020. T.Roy and OV assassinated them as he was doing it. That was just business. A few weeks later, in July 2020, FBG Duck was murdered and died. Thus, this had to be the final straw. The rapper was shot dead in the Chicago Gold Coast neighborhood at the intersection of Michigan Avenue and East Oak Street. It has been revealed that KingVon may have paid $100,000 to have Duck killed. Killed FBG Brick's murderer before FBG Duck was shot and killed by his brother. Von pushed Von Devies to jump on a record to make fun of the tune. That's a switch. I can shoot a brick, and they still say I hit it. I mean, they caught that brick and hit him in his. On July 17, 2017, FBG Brick, his cousin, and Kobe Mack were in the Woodlawn neighborhood when a car pulled up with the intention of finding FBG Duck, but it left after they were unable to locate him.
They were standing out there, and this block was full of people. And the story that I'm hearing was a car pulled up and asked for Duck. Like, "Yo, Duck out here?" And everybody looking like, "Who is you?" They didn't recognize who was in the car.
Approximately 2:50 p.m., police were called to the 6,300 block of South Street, Lawrence, where they discovered a horrifying scene. Kobe Mack was lying in front of the house with a wound to his skull, while FBG Brick was found in the rear gangway with gunshot wounds to his arm and back.
Instantly shot Kobe, and Brick tried to run and jump a gate and was shot in the back.
Reputable female assassin Kyra Barnes, also called Key, was killed when she was just 17 years old. V was the main suspect years after she was killed. At the scene of Key's murder, both men were pronounced deceased. Von Disk gave us a pretty op in a more call when he was in the track war with us, and by the time she died, young Key had turned into a cunning killer on the streets of Chicago. According to Key's mother, her daughter was a kind and naive girl.
I'm just gonna miss her presence. She was a very, very beautiful, well-known, lovely girl.
Kai may have been engaged in as many as 20 homicides before she died, and it was said that she had killed someone when she was just 14 years old. She was said to have killed one of O Block's most feared, beloved, and respected shooters, O.V. Perry. It was reported that the murderer had stolen Odd's firearm and posted images of himself brandishing it on social media. Guerra was soon the only one connected to the rumor. Not only did Barnes utilize social media to attack O.V. Perry, but she would also meet the same end as her victims on April 11 when she was shot by a hooded shooter in front of a home in the 6400 block of Southeast. Kai ran and collapsed on a neighbor's doorstep, passing out after being struck 9 times in the mouth, neck, and chest. Later, at Northwestern Memorial Hospital, she passed away from her wounds. On that day, she went on a walk with her brother, FBG Buddha, and a friend. Shot wounds but lived. V was arrested after witnesses recognized him as the gunman, but the charges were dismissed since the police could not establish his guilt in court. After KingVon was slain in a horrific shooting in Atlanta years later, there were rumors that V had killed K. However, Key's brother, FBG Buddha, who was at the scene, disputed this.
And what I know is, on my dead, Von didn't kill Kai.
He asserts that the murderer is already dead and that he saw the shooter.
I got shot too. I was right there. I got shot too. I saw the motherfucker who popped us. He did.
Give V credit for the hit, as it's now commonly acknowledged that they didn't 69 snitches. KingVon hated snitches and everyone who had anything to do with him, so when 69 decided to cooperate and testify against his gang, he was quick to let him and anyone else who might come into contact with him know how he felt about the track suspects. Von Delius has a rat and his 69 snitches. He acknowledged that he belonged to the 9 Trade Gangsters, a vicious Bloods branch. In fact, on November 18, 2018, 69 and 4 other associates were taken into custody and charged with federal RICO and gun offenses, including armed robbery and conspiracy to commit murder. They could have spent the rest of their lives behind bars.
Do you remember any gang?
Yes, sir.
What was the name of the gang that you were a member of?
The 9 Trade Bloods.
An audio recording of the rappers. He also admitted in court to the gang's involvement in a number of crimes, such as drug use and assault.
What sorts of things did 9 Trade members do?
We participated in a lot of, violent crimes, robberies, assaults, drugs, sorts of that nature.
Everyone avoided the rapper after he served a short jail sentence. Neither artists nor podcasters wanted to be associated with him, and neither did they want to give him credit. Any type of platform, he was approached by 69 labeled 10K Projects for an interview, but no one was willing to take the chance, according to renowned hip-hop expert DJ Academics.
Called me back 5-6 days later. We tried to get him an interview with everybody for him to explain his side. Nobody wants to do it. I said, what? Nobody wants to touch it with a 10-feet.
The hip-hop industry, however, went bananas when Nicki Minaj decided to collaborate with the Outkast on the song Troll. In his attempt to voice his thoughts, KingVon attacked Nicki, and it's safe to assume that he lost respect for the female rapper. I used to think Nicki Minaj was amazing, but after reading one tweet, I came to the conclusion that certain individuals will do whatever it takes to make it violate every moral code, trade, and law. He also noted in another post that V lived what he rapped about, which makes him a monster to some but a fan favorite to others. To view comparable content, Click on the boxes that are playing on your screen, regardless of your opinion of him. If you want a taste of the quick life with desperate, easily swayed individuals, then go for it, friend. The agony and loss you've endured in the process won't even be worth it.